What up? Facebook Live. Coming at you live in the studio, my live studio, where I talk to you about things that are popping in my head and things that I'm applying in my own life. Achieving targets, right? Achieving goals and executing them into reality. I once heard the saying, the enemy to execution is complexity, right? So the more complex you make your life, the more challenge it is to execute into reality. And one of the things I'm most grateful for is UPW, Unleash the Power Within, which is going on right now in Los Angeles, which is even more awesome. Like, so stoked for me because I had such an amazing experience when I attended that in 2015. Now my wife gets to go there, and I'm excited to see how it turns out, like to see what experience that she gets from it and what she learns from it and what happens in her life. You know, maybe nothing happens from it, but I would imagine that if something was so cool that I experienced for me, there's a good chance it's going to be cool for her too. So part of what I'm looking at is starting Wednesday afternoon, I am officially off duty when it comes to work, guys. And I've always been nervous to be vulnerable about, hey, listen, I'm out of town, I'm off, you can't reach out to me, and if you do, I'm just unavailable, but please talk to my awesome team, right? I made the goal this year that I was going to go for 21 days straight vacation, or being with my family. It didn't have to just be a vacation, right? So starting on Wednesday till April 9th, I'm out of the office, which is super cool because it's the 23rd or something right now. That's a pretty long time to be out of the office. I made that goal. I made that target this year, and so I'm achieving it. Like, that's super cool for me. The other part of that I was looking at is what are targets and what's their purpose, because I write them down every single day, multiple times a day. Like, one of the things I write down all the time is I drive a G-Wagon, or I fly in private jets, or I serve on a massive level with the WGR Give Project, or I have a healthy and fit body. I drink 1.5 pounds of spinach a day. I still write that in my journal every single day, and I was writing that before it actually happened, right? I was writing about going on this vacation with my family, this travel, before it even became a reality, right? It's just becoming real right now, where while Jordan's at UPW, I'm running the kids to preschool. I'm running Harper to dance class. I didn't run her to tumbling, though. I was supposed to. I messed that one up in the first 3 hours, so that's a total thumbs down for me. However, I'm getting to do and be a part of their world, and it's super, super cool that I get to be able to do that, and I'm so grateful that I took this time to do it. So I will be giving you guys updates along our journey. Right now, Jordan's in UPW, so if you follow her on Instagram, then you can see she's doing a lot of updates on there on Snapchat. And then starting Monday, we're hopping on our plane. We're flying to Guanacaste, Costa Rica with our kids, and we are just going to do it right. We're going to vacation in a super cool country that's been on my list for a very long time. I've been writing, I film with my phone right now, but on my phone I have a list of things, and I ask the question, what do I want to do before I die? And I have it broken down into a couple different areas. One of them's travel, and Costa Rica has been on that list for a while. And so it's a thing I must do before I die. Boom, we're doing it. We're leaving Monday night, so I'm super excited about that. The other thing that's really, really cool is in my journal it was the year before, right? Because it's been almost 2 years since I made this choice. I said that I fly only first class, right? And I know that some people might not think that's a cool thing, but for me, as much as I fly, I want to fly in comfort the best possible way, because flying kind of sucks in the first place. Am I right? If you get what I'm saying, write yes in the comments if flying just kind of sucks in general. But in order to get to different countries I want to visit, I gotta fly. I gotta hop on a plane and fly. It's just the reality of it. So why not do it comfortable? So I remember writing that in my journal for months and months, and then finally it came to an event I was flying to in Los Angeles. I'm like, why not, dude? Let's do it. From that time forward, I never looked back, including going to all the different vacations I take my family. And if you know, freaking when you have kids and you have to pay for their tickets, it starts to add up. And so, but I made that decision and it became a reality. That's what I want to share with you guys. So what is the target you want to achieve? That's just an example of a couple in my life. And you could probably look back in your life as well. What are some different things that said, hey, this is what I want to accomplish? I'll give you an example of my sister, right? I've heard her talk about going and getting this nice, badass Rambler house for her family for 2 years. They're finally doing it now. They're going and building. But she talked about it for 2 years. If you talk about it enough, if you think about it enough, if you press the issue enough, it can't help the world, the universe, God cannot help but put it into your reality. That's how it works. The idea is a seed planted into your cerebellum, and you water it by thinking about it, by writing about it, by talking about it, by sharing about it, and boom, it sprouts, it grows, it becomes your reality. A couple great questions. So if you want a different reality, ask yourself different questions. Ask yourself better questions. The number one skill that I would share with you guys to get great at is asking great questions. Okay? Great questions to your customers if you're a business owner, and great customers to yourself. The great question you can ask yourself tonight: what do you want to do before you die? What do you literally want to make happen before you die? I'll tell you one thing I want to make happen before I die. I wanted to be fucking healthy as the best possible health I could be. Like, I wanted to be peak performance health. I was tired of, not that I was fat, obese, but I was going in that direction, right? Like, that was important to me. But it started with this idea, and it started with writing about it, and it started with talking about it and reading about it. And then sooner or later, you got to take some action. And so if you make the habit to say, well, how can I increase these thoughts into reality? That's a great question to ask yourself. Well, take more action. Take 10 times the amount of action, and you'll get maybe half of the result of 10x, but half of the result is going to be better than if you just like 2x'd it or 1x'd it. You see what I'm saying? So 10x the action items that cause the results that you want into your life, and it will turn from an idea to a reality. So going right now for 18 days, so 3 days short of what the target was, 21 days. I'm stoked, man. Like, to me, it's not about hitting the number. It's about going that direction and going there as far as I can go. So really excited about that. There's one other thing I was going to share with you guys. I forgot. Sue me, guys. Okay, anything I can do for you guys, let me know. Just remember, I have a real estate sales team. We are fully rolling while while I'm gone, so don't even worry about like if I'm there. In fact, they're better at doing the business than I am now. Like, so one of the things I learned about being a great business owner is surround yourself with people that do the job, do it better than you do. Like, I muddy the waters a little bit now, right? So that's huge. And the last time. And if you guys have followed me on like YouTube or even on Facebook for a long time, you know that 2014, a major target that I went to was going to the World Cup in Brazil. I was gone for 3 weeks at that time as well. This is the first time I've gone for this long since that time. So it's been almost 3 years, which is way too long for me. But when I was there, I was closing deals and making money, but I was coming home to no new deals, right? No new deals. That's why this time is going to be a little bit different experience, because my business has grown such that we now have awesome leaders in the organization, and the business goes forward with or without me, not only with closing transactions, but adding new transactions to it. That's a principle to learn to create a business type like that, to create financial freedom, and not to say that you have to be the one creating it, right? There's not as many Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerbergs out there, but there's a lot of people that truly supported that vision and that dream and had some awesome shit turn out, right? So you can join an organization that has that vision and that dream that supports your vision and your dream. Cool. So doesn't mean you have to be the guy that started the business to still be able to live your dream with that company or that organization in a high level. So I would consider too asking yourself, am I surrounded around an environment that's allowing me to live my targets, to execute on my targets, to live life on my terms, to do those things that I put on my list of what do I want to do before I die, right? Do you want to be on your deathbed saying, oh man, I didn't get to that list, my bucket list. I didn't live my life to the fullest, which circles back around. That's why UPW, I mean, it totally blew my mind up with that type of thinking. It's like, now is your time. Go all in, right? Go all in and do what you're going to do, okay? So my wife being there gets me super stoked. I'm excited to see the results or just see what happens and be able to have a conversation with her about it, so that now we're kind of aligned with this idea. shit, we just did 21 days or 18 days taking time off, and between LA and Costa Rica, and what else can we do? What if we started taking seasons off? Or what if we started flying private jets? Or what if we got our nonprofit organization, our foundation, giving Christmas to 1,000 people, right? Just the fact of saying 1,000 people that's possible with the Christmas Project. It doesn't matter if it happens this year or 5 years from now. It now becomes an opportunity to create, right? So have a little fun with your journal. Have a little fun with these things that you want to do before you die. And I would encourage you, that moment that you go to write something, it's like, I don't know, man, I don't know if I can make that happen. Or even if you say, that won't, whatever. If you start to feel resistance to that, write it down, okay? And resistance is best confronted. That's, I think, a good way to put it. It's best confronted with authenticity and vulnerability. Okay, so for example, if you're projecting, here's a good example. Like, if I would come home and the house would be a mess, and I already was frustrated with whatever I was dealing with, and now the house is a mess, I then can project onto my wife that it's her fault for not cleaning the house, right? So now I'm frustrated, she's frustrated, but really, if I just face the authentic, well, what is it that I'm frustrated with? Well, I can say she didn't clean the house. She kept it messy. But what if I scratch that out and then change those from she didn't to I didn't clean the house. I didn't keep it from getting messy. I didn't pick up after blah blah blah. I didn't do. You see what I'm saying? What if you owned that resistance? What would that do to your life? From my experience, when I've owned that resistance of what I projected, it was like almost like I got this multiple personality, okay? And I know this sounds weird. My wife calls me schizophrenic all the time because I'll sit there and talk to myself as I'm walking down the street. But I'm literally having these conversations in my head, and you probably do too. Because if you just said, I don't know what conversation he's talking about, that conversation that's what I'm talking about, okay? So inside of your head, you get these like kind of multiple personalities, and the reality of it is when we leave that conversation, we get we release the stress, we release the resistance. But how do we let go of that conversation? Oftentimes it's like any social dynamic, in the sense is when you validate another individual, when you lift them up, when you compliment them, or when you validate them in front of other people, that feels good to them, right? So when you've got this, and I saw it sounds weird, you've got this subpersonality, this multiple personality in your head, validate them. Right? It might be a negative kind of thing now, but it probably got you someplace in your life, right? For example, to where I'm at in my career, it's because of something that happened when I was a kid. Not necessarily that event, but the habit I built from that was to prove myself over and over again, was to go to work and make it happen. But that's a forcing mentality. That's a forcing into reality. But now all of a sudden, okay, is I appreciate that personality or that habit or that drive or whatever it is in me that pushes me to do that. I just validate and appreciate that. That dude's gonna back off a little bit, and now I can relax and allow more into my life, right? That's what I've noticed, is when I've relaxed the most, it's when my targets became the most achievable and reality. When I relaxed about it and stopped trying to force it and just allowed it to happen, boom, that was it. It's over. That's how targets happen. Write about it, think about it, talk about it, share about it, be around other people that support it, and it will happen. Get rid of the naysayers. Get rid of the people that tell you it can't happen. Get rid of the people that are giving you excuses on why their shit didn't come to reality, why their life sucks, why they drive the Oldsmobile Alero and you're driving a fucking Lamborghini. Like, get past those people and get to the people that want to see you succeed, see you be happy, whether that's dominating your physical appearance or your health, whether that's dominating your finances, dominating your relationships, dominating your happiness, whatever it is. I look at it as dominated in your life. Get around the people who are going to help you dominate your life and dominate your fucking life. It's you. You're the product, and what makes or breaks that sell of the product, of them buying you, is either your fearless agent presentation or not a presentation, right?